Just lost and couldn't treasure what I got. And like something new that's not like you. Everything right on, stuck in my heart, stuck in my heart.
I'm gonna try to keep this video as short as possible. If you want to know something, then you can ask me in comments. So let's start with the video. So we have two different patterns for the leads. We have 14 different sounds, and it consists of basically plucky sounds, saw waves, and then we have some square leads as well. So the saw layers sound like this. The mid layers sound like this. For the processing, I haven't done anything fancy. It's just EQ, low cuts, and high cuts on basically everything. Some of them even don't have any processing, so yeah. And then for the lead bus, I have 3 different buses. The first one is basically for the saw layers. This is an OTT to glue the leads together. And then we have the second bus. It has a peak controller reverb on it to do the thing. You know, when the lead hits, it will duck down the sound of the reverb. And then we have some stereo enhancer, low cut, low pass filter. There's a high cut. This is to add more highs to the leads. Endless mile for the automation in the drop. And there's another endless mile. This is basically to push the leads back in the mix so it stays on for the entire drop. And for the third lead bus, we have an EQ, high cut EQ, peak controller, reverb, same thing going on. This is for automation, and another one is to push the leads back in the mix. This is Kickstart to sidechain the leads. And all together it sounds like this. For the bass, we have 2 different sounds. I'm gonna play them for you. So the first sound, there's like a low cut, and then there's some boost around low mids and highs. For the second sound, there's compression going on, EQ, FX to get that certain mid bass voice that Fablers has in his mid bass. For the bus, mid bass bus, we have a dip. So without the processing, sound like this actually. Yeah, so we removed the harsh highs. Then there's another EQ to remove the woody frequencies around bass and like low mid areas. This is for filtering purposes. And then we have Kickstart for the sidechain. Sub bass, we have a sine wave. It has RBass mono on it. I added more frequencies around 80 Hz, as you can see over here. And then we have a high cut at 230 Hz, tonal balance, because there are some gliding notes in the bass. That's why the tonal balance. And by the way, the mid bass looks like this. Sub bass looks like this. We have one more layer. It's a guitar bass. some OTT on it, and then there's some low cuts and high cuts to remove the sides a bit. Wave shaper, and then there is EQ to remove the low mids, glue compressor, some more OTT, and then kickstart and RBass mono around 151 hertz. So without, it sounds like this. Sounds a bit empty, right? With the RBass, it sounds fat. And all the basses together sound like this. Mm. And then for the chords, we have two different layers actually. The first one is a saw layer. Some basic processing going on here. Without the processing, it sounds like this. And the piano layer sounds like this. Without processing, it sounds like this. Removed a lot of mids and boosted the highs. You can see the Pro Q, sound goodizer, another EQ, filter, peak controller with reverb and delay on it. Instead of automating or linking the wet signal of the reverb, we did it with the mix knob or the volume knob of the plugins. We have some kickstart and 40 balance for mixing purposes. For the drums, I haven't done any processing on the drums. This is what it sounds like. So we didn't do much for the mastering. We just have like two plugins, Animator to widen the leads around 10k hertz, and around 150 hertz we monitor everything from like 150 to basically nothing, because we have a guitar bass as well, and this is to get the brick wall sound. This is with an and this is just to analyze the sound basically while making the song, and this is to monitor the loudness level.